Hello everyone, this is Vedic Astrology once again bringing you another video in my transit series. Join me on this journey. Sign up, share and subscribe. Should you have any queries or questions at the end of this video, drop me a line at zeta55@outlook.com or check me on my blog at zedamastrology.com. Okay, at Zedam Astrology, you know that I do things differently in regard to the transit of the analysis of the grahas or the planets, and I do things differently because of the movement of the planets, where they move either monthly or annually, or like Saturn every 2.5 years. And one of the reasons is that I don't want to give you a routine or boring or just say the same thing over and over again. And I have utilized the union of tarot and Vedic astrology as a method for my analysis in Patra or Kundali reading and analysis at Zedam Astrology. And this is just a visual for you to understand a little bit of what I'm doing. This is a Kundali or birth chart taken of somebody who is born on May 17th, 1945. And this is their natal chart. And the natal chart shows the ascendant in Leo with Jupiter. So the ascendant in Leo immediately denotes that Leo becomes the first bhava, the first house, the house about you and yourself. Then we have Ketu here in Sagittarius, which is the 5th house. Then we go to Venus and Mars in Jupiter, Mercury in Aries, Sun in Taurus, Rahu and Saturn in Gemini, Moon in Cancer. So you go clockwise in this chart, and this is your natal chart. This is a chart that you cannot change because this is your date and time of birth, predestined for you. This is your fate, this is your lineage, this is your bloodline, this is your ancestor, and with it comes karma from the past life, deeds that were left undone, and it presents itself here for you as your soul's mission. What is it you came on this earth to do on May 17th, 1945? So this is your natal chart, right? And if I don't have your natal chart, then I don't know where your ascendant is, what is your first house, and where the planets are posited for you. And then we come to the transit of the grahas, which is what I do for you on this bi-weekly basis. And this transit, these grahas placement are just arbitrary, it's just to give you a visual. And let's just say that this transit grahas on the day that I'm doing this video on the 17th, that the transit of the grahas reads as how these are. We find Mars in Virgo. Mars is in Virgo, Venus is in Libra, Sun is in Sagittarius, and so forth, so on, so that you see the difference to the natal placement. And when we do transits, transit comes secondary to your dasha. And for the Vedic persons who are aware of what that is, it's just a cycle of life for others. It's a cycle of life that tells you this is the planet or graha that is the main person for you in this period of life. And each graha has a different timeline. So that if I don't even know your Mahadasha, then it makes it even more difficult for me to target you specifically or personally for the transit. This is why I don't do daily horoscopes, and this is why the transit of the grahas in my videos are just generic. It's general. It tells you what the planet is going to give out for that period on that sign. It doesn't speak about the houses. This might be the potential energy for this planet based on its aspects or its placement in the zodiac. It has nothing to do with the bhavas or you specifically, because I don't have your natal chart. So that your natal chart is the foundation for you. It is the foundation that we as astrologers must have for these readings to be targeted to you. So if something resonates in these transits for you and you want to know further about you specifically, then you need to request a chart from Zidam Astrology for us to give you that analysis specific to you. So this is the natal and transit, and then I deal with, well, this is just another visual of the zodiac signs, and I put this up here because then I deal with the Dharma Trikona in my tarot readings, and the Dharma Trikona really deals with the fire, earth, air, and water trines, and the Dharma Trikona is your first, fifth, and ninth house. So in this chart here that we are seeing, in this chart we have the ascendant here in Leo. So Leo becomes your first house. Leo being your first house, it would mean Sagittarius is your fifth house, Aries is your ninth house. So this is the Dharma Trikona for the fire trine when Leo is your first house. If Aries was your first house, then Aries will be 1, Leo will be 5, and Sagittarius will be 9. Now with Dharma Trikona, I use the Dharma Trikona because Dharma Trikona is the spiritual angle of your of the aspects of your soul. You know, your first house is your soul's mission. The fifth house is the accumulated merit from past lives, whether it's good or bad, and that is punya purva, as we say in Vedic astrology. And the ninth house is the manifestation of past karma, so that you have those things coming forth in this life for you. And the tradition holds that your dharma is the primary aim of your human life, in this janam. Since your Dharma Trikona gives you the foundation which you develop wisdom and your discretion to pursue the other 3 Trikonas that we find in Vedic astrology. And those Trikonas are the Artha Trikona, the Kama Trikona, and the Moksha Trikona. And the houses here, the Artha Trikona starts with house number 2, then it goes to 6 and 10. Kama starts with 3 and Moksha starts with 4, and it's all 159 apart but starts at these houses. So your Artha Trikona here for this Kundali that is up here, the second house here is Virgo. So Virgo is going to be your second house, and then the 6th house and the 10th house will create that Artha Trikona, which is wealth, Kama Trikona, which is happiness, and Moksha Trikona, which is liberation. But I don't deal with those specifically in my tarot reading because I focus on the Dharma Trikona because that's your foundation and it's the primary aim of the Purusha Shata, or the zodiac signs in Hindi religion. And then, you know, as we look at the tarot deck, we see wands, pentacles, swords, and cups, and these relate to fire, earth, air, and water. So that we have the fire, earth, air, and water in the tarot deck. We have the fire, earth, air, and water trines in the Dharma Trikona and in the 3 other Trikonas that I showed you. But this is where it comes together. This is the commonality. This is where I feel comfortable in using it. And wands is aligned to clubs. Pentacles and earth is aligned to diamonds. Sword is aligned to spades. And cups is aligned to hearts in the normal plane deck. And as I said, this is fire, earth, air, and water, and this is the source code of astrology. So that the source code of astrology is also found in the tarot deck. And when we use the source code of astrology as a blueprint of our soul, we become architects of our destiny. And remember, destiny can be changed when we use courage, willpower, compassion, choice. Fate we cannot change because fate is our natal placement of the chart. We cannot change our birth date, we cannot change our birth time, we cannot change where we were born on this date and time. But we can change destiny through our actions and choices, and therefore we become the architects of our destiny by using this blueprint of fire, earth, air, and water, of our soul. So this is, the timeline that I'm giving you. This is the little explanation. And as Vedic astrology is doing things differently, I feel it is incumbent upon me to give you an explanation for you to understand what I do, why I do it, and how I do it. So that I hope this resonates with you. I hope you understand what I mean when I say what I said here, and that my communication was clear. If you should have a question on anything, I am always open to discussion and learning. I have a wealth of knowledge that I have researched, but there is always more to learn. So feel free to send me a line, to comment on my blog, to comment on my channel, and share, sign up, and subscribe. Right, continuing on my video as doing things differently. You know that I have just explained why I've married Vedic astrology and tarot, and my go-to, as I said, is the tetractys spread. So here we go. Let us see what the cards are going to throw out for us for this period, June 4th to June 18th, 2022. And remember that the tarot is used to clarify or enable the transit of the grahas. And the first card we have here is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords. Then we follow it with the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles, or the Nine of Coins. The Empress makes a showing this period. So we have the Empress, the first major arcana card. Then we have the Hermit. My goodness, a second major arcana card. So a lot of external forces here. And then we have the Emperor. So we have the Empress, the Hermit, and the Emperor in that harmony grid. And then the final row, we start off with the Queen of Wands. Then we have the Three of Swords. Three of Swords. A little heartbreak, a little loss may be coming there. Then we have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands. So that's quick decisions, a lot of opportunities. And our final card comes with the Three of Pentacles. And that is the tetractys spread for the period June 4th to June 18th. And we now go through, or are going to pull or select the cards that bring us the energies from the bhavas, the chakras, the the planets, the grahas, and the deities. And we throw in the element there to also find out what are the energy we have internally, fire, air. Well, air doesn't really come through in the cards, but fire, water, earth, and air. And here we have the 12th bhava, the 12th house. So this is the house of expenditure, of rejection, of isolation, of losses, of spirituality, of moksha, which is liberation. What is the element that is coming for us this period? And that element is fire. Fire. So a lot of energy, a lot of go-to, a lot of movement, a lot of passion. Be careful that we are not burnt out, because fire can consume. It can also regenerate itself from a spark. When you burn a ton of garbage, a fire can ignite through air passing through and reigniting that fire through a spark. So we also have to be careful about that. And probably we need some regeneration or rebirth in our life with our 12th house coming into play. But let's see what the chakra wisdom is going to tell us, in terms of our pathways, our choices, the energy surrounding us, the lesson that we may have to learn. And that card comes from impasse. And this card has been coming up a few times this month. So it's probably something that we have left undone, that we haven't completed. And impasse is all about alternative routes, another way to do something, choices, opportunities, protection, because this gentleman in the card here is protecting us from falling off a cliff. He doesn't want us to go in a path of destruction, so he's standing in the way to show us another way, to give us an alternative route to completing a goal or completing a mission or achieving something. So impasse is something that has been recurring, and we probably need to take a little more look, or a deeper look, into that chakra wisdom card of impasse. But we are choosing the deity right now, and let's see what the deity and who the deity is for this period. And that deity is Lord Varuna. Lord Varuna, the god of the seas, one of the 12 Adityas, and the Adityas, one for each month. So Lord Varuna is there as the deity to come and forgive us our sins, to bring out hidden secrets, because the ocean is always churning up something to throw out something at us on the beach and on the sands. So we never know what to expect from the ocean, and probably we need to ask forgiveness for something, or we need to be rewarded for something, because Lord Varuna also rewards us. He seems to be associated too with immortality. But let's move on. The Graha. The final energy here is Pluto. And Pluto is Lord of the underworld. And Lord Varuna is also thought to be God of the underworld and the seas. So we have a little correlation there. And let's see the cards and what we can take from this with the transit of the Grahas. Okay, let's start on the comparison with the Grahas, the transit of the Grahas, their placement as at June 4th, 2022, and the cards that we selected in the previous videos showing Two of Swords, Three of Wands, Nine of Coins, Empress, Hermit, Emperor, Queen of Wands, Three of Swords, Eight of Wands, and Three of Coins or Pentacles. So this is where we are at, and we can see that Saturn still remains in Aquarius, Jupiter and Mars remains in Pisces, Rahu and Venus is in Aries, Sun, Mercury and the Ascendant is in Taurus with Moon in Cancer. Ketu is in Libra. So that these are the placements beginning 4th of June 2022. And in our previous video on this slide, we saw the Two of Swords being pulled as the foundation or the premise of these reading for today or for this period. And just a reminder, transits are always secondary to dashas or the Mahadasha. And for us to know, again, just a reminder, for us to know how these planets are going to affect you, we need to know your Mahadasha. And the only way that we are going to know what Mahadasha you are currently undergoing is from your personal Kundali, your personal birth chart, so that your date of birth, your time of birth, and your place of birth are the basic information required for us to do that. And transits are calculated from the moon and the ascendant, so that if this is your birth chart, let's just change 2022 here and put 2022 as probably 1974. We changed 2022 to 1974, and this is your birth chart. Then I know that your ascendant is in Taurus, and that will be your first house, and Rahu and Venus is now in your 12th house. Jupiter will be in your 11th, Saturn in your 10th, and so on. Moon will be in your 3rd. But this is just an arbitrary positioning, so that I don't have your birth chart and your basic information to know the Mahadasha and the Dashas. And remember, the Dasha is just a cycle of time. It's a cycle of time where one Graha or one planet rules the others. But let us see what this reading is all about. Let us understand what is happening for this period with us. And the Two of Swords for this period is all about difficult decisions. You're blind to the truth. You're at cross purposes. You're procrastinating. You think that if you ignore what is in front of you or what you have to make a decision about, it is going to disappear. But that's not really what happens in real life, is it? That is not really what happens when we live our life on a routine basis, on a day-to-day basis. And remember, we also pull the impasse card. that have been coming up over and over again for this month, for the last few months actually. And that card speaks about an alternative route, something different. The deities are protecting us and guiding us. And then with the unity, the Two of Swords in terms of a decision making, and I like to align the monad or the unity card with the Saturn Graha, because Saturn is the slowest moving planet, but it also stays the longest in a zodiac sign. It stays 2.5 years, so that its impact and how it affects us is over the long term, the long run. It's not a quick thing like the moon, where the moon moves every 2.5 days. So the unity, the Two of Swords here, is going to be aligned here with the longest moving, the slowest moving planet, Saturn. And Saturn tells us in Aquarius that it's all about community, it's all about family, it's all about understanding that while we may be different, we are still worth something. We are an asset to ourselves and those around us. We may be thinking out of the box, but we are thinking the right way. We are worth what we are thinking. We are far beyond the years that we may have, and we may think beyond our years. We are forward thinking. This is what Saturn is telling us. So while we are forward thinking and the Two of Swords tells us a decision has to be made, let us not blind ourselves to the truth. Let us not be at cross purposes with ourselves. And then we have the Three of Wands in the position of the dog, where cosmic reaction to your state of being, and there's the moon. So it's really a mental a mental consequence. How are you reacting? What are you thinking? And you might be thinking about travel, vacation, foreign lands, relocation. You want your bag packed and ready to move away, to travel over the seas. And that is what you may be thinking now. But what does the sun tell you? Because this is the power grid. Remember, the sun and the moon here is the power grid. The sun and the moon are giving you in this tetractys spread your mental capacity and your physical capacity. And the mental capacity comes from the Three of Wands. The physical capacity comes from the Nine of Coins or the Nine of Pentacles. And that Three of Wands we just said, it's about growth, relocation, foreign lands. The Nine of Pentacles is the conflict, success, better than you expected, profits, wealth, financial strength or stability. That is what the Nine of Coins is. And your power comes from you physically working hard to get to that point where you are now going to have to make a decision. Do I hoard what I have? I have all this power mentally and physically. And do I hoard what I have, or do I share it with the community, as Saturn here is wanting to tell me to do? Am I going to be the rebel in my community, where that, I think outside the box, and what I want to help with may not be what the community wants, but I understand that in the long run, it's going to be for the better. So what do I do? What is the choice that I make? Am I going to procrastinate more? And then we come to the harmony triad here with the Empress, the Hermit, and the Emperor. And the Empress is all about what you have to remove from your life to move forward. And the Empress is all about nurturing, all about caring, all about understanding, with compassion, with tenderness. The Empress encourages the growth and development of all the things that should be happening around you. In fact, life may be taking off for you at this point in a pleasant direction. But cherishing, compassion, it all comes from Jupiter in Pisces, because Jupiter is the guru, he's the teacher, and the compassion and thinking about others, the empathy, the sympathy is Jupiter here in Pisces, because that is what Jupiter is all about. And Mars is there with Jupiter, but Mars is not very comfortable, because Mars wants to go ahead. Mars wants to, deal with everything and deal with it immediately. But Jupiter there is saying, hold up there a little bit. think of those around you. Saturn is telling you, be a rebel, but don't do it with arrogance. Do it with empathy. Jupiter is in Pisces there, understanding that at the end of the day, you have to be compassionate. You have to be, encouraged by divinity, by your spirituality. Don't isolate yourself, because this is all about the end of the road. The Pisces is the 12th bhava in the natural Kala Purush. So Jupiter here and Mars here, it's telling you, be a little nurturing, but be logical, because this is the harmony. While you want to be caring and nurturing, you don't want somebody to push you off the cliff. You don't want somebody to take advantage of you. And the Hermit is all about isolation, going on that lonely road to learn about yourself, to learn about others, to gain wisdom, to gain knowledge, to gain courage, to take that step that you didn't want to take before. You may be afraid of the dark, but the light is there in front of you. And it's only when you balance your life in this harmony triad that, you will destroy, you will sustain, and you will create. Because that is where these cards are positioned. And in Aries, Venus is there in Aries, and Venus is at 13 Aries, and Venus is the Amatya Karaka for this period. And that means that Venus is how you are going to achieve your soul's desire. And that soul desire for this period says you want all the beauty, all the leisure, all the pleasure, all the good things in life, all the assets that you can be comfortable and enjoy life. But at what cost? Because Rahu is also in Aries, and Rahu is at 27 degrees Aries. So Venus is going towards Rahu, and Rahu is going towards Venus. Because remember, Rahu moves counterclockwise while Venus will move clockwise. But that Rahu is the great deceiver. So that while Rahu may be building strategies to fill your head with all the thoughts of how you can do it and why you must do it now, the Hermit here is telling you in harmony, your speech, because Mercury is associated with the sustainer card, that what helps you maintain balance. So Mercury is helping you here to understand that whatever you need to say or communicate, you need to understand yourself and gain that wisdom before you can nurture, before you can cherish, before you can be logical or rational, as with the Empress and the Emperor. And that is what is Mercury. And Mercury right now is in Taurus. And remember, Taurus is it's a reliable sign. It's a bull. It's strong. It's stubborn. So that, you may want to say things how you want to say it. But the Hermit is telling you, hey, take your time. Slide through that path of wisdom and knowledge and isolation. Take a breath. Take your inner self in hand and understand what your communication is, because it's going to be reliable, but you still need to take your time. And the Emperor is all about strength, victory, willpower, success, recognition. And the Emperor is a card of success and victory. It may be hard won because you had to the Nine of coins here, the Nine of Pentacles with the Sun. So you have worked hard to get this success. You have worked hard to have this stability. And the Emperor is telling you, he's reassuring you that you have the capability. Don't doubt yourself. Feel victory is there for you. It's not going to pass you by, However, this does not suggest that you could rest on your laurels and do nothing again because the Emperor is on your side. No, you can't do that. You have to understand that at the end of the day, you have to work hard and you have to be courageous about what you are worth and how you went about doing something. And then we have Saturn in Aquarius. Well, the Queen of Wands here, which is Saturn. And I spoke about Saturn in Aquarius. And the Queen of Wands is telling you, this is how you're going to cope with everyday life. Take charge of the situation. Be determined. Be independent. Have faith. And believe in yourself. You fight for what is right. Be assertive. Be open and sincere. And then we have the Three of Swords, and the Three of Swords is a little bit of heartbreak, a little bit of loss. And remember, we have Venus here, and Venus is the graha for this card here in this position of water, exploring your emotions. And remember, we have Venus here in Aries with Rahu, and what we may think we know and what we may think we have to do. Rahu is a great deceiver. He's an illusionist, so we may not know the full story for us to move forward and to understand why we have to do what we want to do. Because remember, we have a choice. The Two of Swords, we have a difficult choice to make, a difficult decision. But Rahu here, who wants to give us everything, Venus, who wants to give us everything, may bring us a little heartbreak, because he's sitting with Rahu at this point in time in Aries. And then we have the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is sitting in the strategies, the current strategies and goals and thoughts that you have. And this card is Jupiter, and Jupiter, remember, here is in Pisces, and Mars, with also Neptune. But Jupiter is compassionate in Pisces, spiritual minded, caring for others, so that you may need quick decisions that you are required to do, because opportunities are coming swiftly at you through the Eight of Wands. There are a lot of things coming to you. They're not coming at the same time, but they are coming quickly, because they are all in the air, and you are searching to reach that goal, that mission accomplished, that success. And Mars in Pisces speaks about, Mars is not really comfortable in Pisces. Mars is not comfortable with compassion and healing, faith and growth. Mars is a fighter. Mars is a commander-in-chief. He's a soldier. So he doesn't want that long-term commitment. He wants results now. He's fire. He's creativity. He's ambition. He's quick actions. And that is what he wants. So he's not very comfortable with the healing and the compassion and the family-oriented. He's not very comfortable there. And Venus and Rahu, as I spoke about, and just that, Venus might have a strong personality in Aries. It suggests the energy could be a bit aggressive, so that you may want to move quickly to gain those things, because we have to recall too that Aries, the zodiac sign, the ruler is Mars. So with the Martian energy being inflicted on Venus here in Aries, Venus might be a little gung-ho. You want it immediately, so that is what you have to be careful of, because the Venus card here, the Three of Swords, suggests heartbreak, suggests a loss, suggests a rejection, as it were. And then we have for the creativity, your force, your will, ambition, this is Mars, the Three of Cups, and the Three of Cups is the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles is all about teamwork, growth, building on a solid foundation, commitment, long-term plans. That is what the Three of Pentacles gives. So that at the end of the day, Mars here is not comfortable with giving you that long-term plan, because Mars wants to rush forward. Mars wants to hurry up. But recall that the harmony triad here with the Empress, the Hermit and the Emperor is telling you that how you have to get balance in your life is to be nurturing to the community, be nurturing to yourself, maybe isolate yourself, go on the path of isolation, to brief yourself on your inner being, your inner wisdom, your inner talent, your inner strength. The Emperor says, don't go to war. Be logical, be reasonable, because that is how you are going to get harmony in your life. That is where you are going to get harmony. The material resources in this last row, which speaks to Saturn, Venus, Jupiter and Mars, goes through Aquarius, Pisces and Aries. So those three have dealt with in terms of where they are now and the illusion that it could be not comfortable. The guru wants to teach you, but in a spiritual way, in a compassionate way. Neptune there is god of the sea, so these are the cards clarifying the placement of these planets or grahas, as it were. And then we have the 12th house, and the 12th house deals with hidden things, so that you have to keep your intentions and your involvement in certain things hidden, because these are secret enemies. You might have large institutions bringing overwhelming events for you that you're not ready to make that leap with them. And this is where the decision may be coming in, that the Two of Swords with Saturn there in Aquarius being rebellious, but you have to depend on your faith, and your hidden tendencies may come out, which may be procrastination, or that you are blind to the truth. You don't see everything around you because Rahu is there with Venus in Aries, and your faith is Jupiter in Pisces, where compassion, the guru of the devas. So that's the 12th house. And then we have fire. Fire is all about Mars, all about passion, but we indicate that fire here is the 3 of coins with Mars, and that 3 of coins tells you that you want to celebrate, but you want to celebrate in a way that gives you long-term effects, not short term. You want to build on a solid foundation. You want to have teamwork. You want to have growth. You want to have study. But Mars is not comfortable in Pisces. So Mars fire may be a little dampened or tamped down, as it were, in this period. You might be lethargic, that you don't want to do a lot of things. So this may be what is happening here. And we spoke about impasse. I spoke about this card where someone is blocking you from falling off a cliff. It's dark, you can't see in front of you, even though the moon is there very bright. You have a protector in this gentleman or this person who is guiding you and saying, don't go in this route, go this alternative way. It might be a little more obstacles, it might be a little longer, but you will get there because I'm protecting you from falling off this cliff. And this is where the rebel with Saturn, take a chance in going a new route. Don't only try to use Saturn as a long-term karmic judge and you dare and you're not getting what you want. Use Saturn to say, okay, I have to work hard, I have to be disciplined, I have to have the willpower to go through what I have to go through. And then we have Lord Varuna, who is the Lord of the Seas. And Lord Varuna is all about the avatar associated with the sky initially, but then he became also associated with the seas as well as justice and truth. He's found in the Rig Veda, which is a really old text of Hinduism, and being able to oversee the world with his 1,000 eyes. Lord Varuna is also associated with moral law and community affairs. So we go back here to Saturn, because Saturn in Aquarius deals with community affairs. He's believed to punish those who go out of the realms of law. He is known to punish persons who do not keep their word, and his usual method of punishment was to catch the offender with his noose, but Lord Varuna also forgives those who repent, and pray to repent his sin. And as the one who enforces the law, he is worshipped as keeper of divine order and the enforcer of contracts. So it could be all about your business too, that he's protecting you in your business. Take that step, make that decision. Don't be a procrastinator. Don't be blind to what is around you. Take off that blinders so that your focus will not be narrow. You have difficult decisions to make, yes, but you have to make them. You can't run from it. You have to make them. And at the end of the day, going back to the 12th bhava, any planet in the 12th bhava is generally considered inauspicious in Vedic astrology, but it also becomes weak, and you knowing the 12th bhava, if you have any houses in the 12th bhava, will tell you which of these grahas here is weak for you at this point in time, because it's the 12th bhava we pulled. And at the end of the day, the grahas in the 12th bhava always gives frustration and losses, and sometimes too it shows the sexual blemish that you may have, and it could be that it affects your sexuality, your pleasures that Venus wants to bring to you. The 12th bhava shows distant journeys and pleasures in bed, that is through Venus. It shows punishment and expenses through Saturn. It shows sleep through Moon, mercy through Jupiter, misfortune and bad deeds through Rahu, and meditation through Ketu. So you see, it depends on which bhava, which graha these planets are posited in for you, so that you can get an understanding of what is happening to you. But this is the reading for the period beginning June 4th to June 18th, 2022. And just be ready to understand yourself and understand what is happening to you. And just we pulled Pluto as the graha or the card, and Pluto is transiting Capricorn right now, and we want to understand the integrity and the governance of the institutions, because remember, the 12th house also deals with large institutions, and Pluto also deals with examining the political and legal and religious establishments that we believe could afford us protection. But Pluto is the god of the underworld. We don't know what is hidden, we don't know what is coming through in the way that we want it to come through, because Pluto is the god of the underworld, and we don't know what is down in that underworld. We don't know what or who is down there, and it may expose an obvious truth for us, and probably all of that is coming through with the decision that we find it difficult to make, that what we believed we knew or believed that we did was the right thing, it is now coming to us that no, we didn't know the full story, because things are coming out now with Pluto, and Pluto is in Capricorn, right? So that our fidelity only serves to advance the agendas of the persons that we give our fidelity to. Probably we need to step away from that fidelity to that person, that family, that community, and you don't want to do it. That spouse, that partner, that relationship, that it is a difficult decision, and it could be in your career, it could be in your love life, it could be in your family, it could be about yourself. This is what we want to give our loyalty and keep our loyalty running, but it may not be the best for us, and that is part of the difficult decision. And Pluto here is during this time, Pluto wants you to be successful and accomplished. Focus on that. This placement is a strong placement, and Pluto wants you to achieve recognition and commendations to your name. Pluto may push you to even a higher level of success, but it also demands that you keep your priorities in line, because you are in Capricorn. Pluto is in Capricorn here, so that we have to understand that Pluto can be our success story or our demise, and lastly, for Pluto, as earthly Capricorn here has a deep connection to the environment. We may deal with eco activism. You might have that. What can we do about our climate? What can we do about our environment? Do I need to go and help clean the beaches or the rivers this period? What can I do to help to make myself understand that I am part of where I am, that I contribute to where I am? So this is Pluto's lessons for us in this period beginning June 4th Chapter, June 18th, 2022. I have left this slide up in my videos mainly for my new subscribers or persons who are not aware of some terminology that we use in Vedic astrology, and how we divide the sky into the signs, the rasis, the nakshatras, the stars, and the padas. It may not be terms that you are aware of or that you have used on a day-to-day basis, and this is just giving you a heads up and to give you an understanding of what we mean, or what I mean as astrology, when I talk about the nakshatras and the padas and the placement of these nakshatras and stars and what it means for your kundali. So join me on this journey and request your report or your kundali so that you can understand what the stars and the universe have in store for you. Okay, before I close off this video, I'd just like to remind you to subscribe, share, and sign up at zidamastrology.com or to my channel here on YouTube, where you will get all your readings, your patra readings, your tarot spreads, your runes and crystals inclusive in your reports, and your chakras. Please share, sign up, and subscribe. Bhagwan has once again allowed me to come to the end of another video, and I'd just like to remind those of you who watch my video that the analysis of the video is not an all-encompassing analysis. It just gives you a few of the thoughts and potential pathways that can be read from the cards and the transit of the grahas. It is not exhaustive. There are so many other things that are relevant or can be read from just the simple placement of the transit and the clarification from the cards on a day-to-day basis. So at the end of the day, understand that it is just a tiny portion of what can be gleaned from the cards and from the transit of the grahas. I want to thank you once again for sticking with me, for sharing, for subscribing and signing up. I ask that you stay healthy, safe, and happy until we meet again. Thank you and bye.